Bechamel will be your white, your white sauce that you would add to make your sausage and gravy. And then we have tomato sauce, of course. And then we have demi-glaze. Demi-glaze is where you get the brown, rich, which is made from bones and roasting them and then boiling them for days. And then you take that broth and thicken it. So that's your 5 sauces with this. This is basically a mayonnaise, only instead of sugar and oil and egg, we're using butter and lemon juice to cook the eggs. Okay, so what we're going to start out with is I have a little problem with this because this is brand new, brand spanking new, and I always forget how to use it. Okay, so what we're going to start off with is a little lemon, fresh lemon. And this is enough to do for your guests. And lemon and the hollandaise will hold up if you keep it near heat. Be kind of careful not to get the seeds in there. Juice of 1 lemon and egg yolks. 3 egg yolks. Hollandaise you can add anything to. You can add tarragon to it. You have your béarnaise that I serve at the restaurant as well. You can add, instead of lemon juice, you can use orange juice and make Maltese sauce, which is just like hollandaise, only it's got kind of an orangey flavor to it. Any kind of wasabi, you can add wasabi to it, make it kind of a Japanese type thing going on. And what's happening here with hollandaise is that when I was a young chef, before they had food processors, which so my age there, we rode around on horse buggy and stuff. So anyway, what happens with the food processor and the lemon juice is what we used to do as a double boiler and just go like this all for like till your arm felt like it was gonna fall off. And then the chef would say, not good enough. So anyway, what you do is you put the lemon juice, the egg yolks, a dash, Tabasco, a dash of Worcestershire sauce. Say that real quick. Okay. I use salt and white pepper, and that's just for visual effects, because I don't want to use black pepper and have little black dots in it. So I got probably about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and white pepper, okay? And I use, and just to let you know, at the restaurant, I use Florida salt. Florida salt is actually harvested in France on the beach. They do it with a shovel, put it up with a thing, let it dry, and as dry as much as they can. It's very expensive. Salt is not a spice. Salt is a food enhancer. So I want the best enhancing going on with my food. A lot of restaurants don't care. They just use regular iodine salt. I'm just real thick, and it's all your call if you want to. Yeah.
Where are you getting that salt? I don't have to look for it.
If you want to use the Himalayan salt, you're doing really good there. Actually, Himalayan salt is actually really good and I'm not sure on this, but I think it's good for your blood pressure, where regular salt is not good for your blood pressure. So there you go. All right, so what do we got going on here? We got the Worcestershire, the salt, egg yolks, lemon juice, Tabasco. Did I put Tabasco? Okay. And okay, so I got all that in there. Everything's ready to go. Right. So turn this on, and you're going to notice. See the dark yellow? What's going to happen is the lemon juice, with this spinning, incorporating, it's going to actually cook these lemon yolks. And we're going to take the butter. And this, it has to be a certain temperature. It has to be really hot. almost where you can't touch it, but where you can touch it. Kind of that feely, touchy thing going on. So I've already melted this. I'm gonna put it back in the microwave. Why isn't it coming on? There you go. Okay. I'm just gonna put it in for a minute 30, which will heat it back up. I might heat it up in a minute 30, which should get it back in the right temperature. It's not ideal at present. But while this is going on, see the difference? See how it's getting the light? This is the egg yolks actually being cooked. And you can leave it in there. I mean, sometimes I'll be in the kitchen, I'll have the food processor going. Someone will call me to do something, and I'll be on there for 5 or 10 minutes. They're like making custard. So we're going to do the hollandaise first, like we did. I'm almost done with this, and then we're going to start on the Venetian scallops. This is my own dish that I came up with when I went to Venice. We've got an apartment with some friends of mine, and we stayed in Venice for a week. And I don't know how they do it in Venice, because it's a little island out in the middle of nowhere. Well, not way out there, but it's an island. For some reason, Venice has the best produce that I've ever seen in my entire life. How do they have on an island that we can't have here in Kentucky? How, I don't know, but it was absolutely beautiful. I would go to the market, and there were delis with fresh prosciutto, I mean, like hanging, and you go to the fish market, and you buy scallops, not like in a gallon jug like I did at the restaurant. You buy them. This is what we're going to be serving them in. These are real scallop shells. And this is how I bought my first scallops, to do the Venetian scallops. And you take it just like an oyster, you pop them open, and in there is the scallop, and it's attached with a little boot, and it has a little roe, which the roe is delicious as well. Very salty. It's on the boot. So, I'm feeling it. Yes. Okay. So most of your food processors will have what I call in the kitchen, we always make fun of people making holidays, training wheels. This has a little tiny hole in it that'll, because if you pour too much too quick, you're going to get water. It'll just separate. It'll be just as thin as this right here. You know, if you got to go just the right amount so you get the consistency of a sauce. What happens is that the molecules actually stretch into rubber bands, and that's what creates the sauce texture. So I'm not going to use the training wheels, and I'll probably mess up with you. But you can take this out if you mess up. Add 2 more egg yolks, more lemon juice, and just add the whole mixture again. So I'm starting out, and you listen. You listen to. When you're a chef, you use all your senses. Use your eyes, your ears, your nose. You'll hear happening. That means I'm doing good. Hear splashing means it's broke. Okay. So, in the bottom of your butter is milk, and the salt is on top. I use unsalted butter. So when you're making this, you can add a little bit of warm water to it. Well, I use the milk instead of, so you want to have a little bit of milk at the bottom, get it crazy. And now I use the same container, this, to pour it into my squeeze bottle. And I'll bring this around so everybody can see.
How much butter?
That was 1 pound of butter, I'm sorry. 3 eggs, 1 pound of butter, dash everything else. Juice of 1 lemon. Okay, so just so you can see. And you have a sorry to that.
Yes, right.
Or avocado.
With a spoon.
Like pudding.
Wasn't hard.
Hello.
You got a mother sauce. There's only 5 of them, so you're almost there. Be a chef, open your own restaurant. Turn crazy, just like me. Okay, so. I make this every single day. It's an expensive sauce to make considering butter's about $4 a pound. And time. But, and I used to have a lot of partners and people that I work in restaurants, but everybody else can call it, right? Well, because if I want to make something, I have at least one of the bases already ready. And then I always look around, do my menu that I use hollandaise. And then I came up with the seahorses, which the seahorse is what I did first. If you've been to my restaurant, has everyone been to my restaurant? Okay. So the seahorses came first. And I didn't come up with that name either. A roommate of mine came up with the name. And because everybody was doing the bacon wrap, and the chicken livers. And so when I went there, that's when I came up with the Venetian scallops. And I didn't make hollandaise in the apartment when I was doing them. But when I got back here and I did them for another cooking show, I really liked the hollandaise on it. So that's what we're doing. I wanted to give you guys the whole thing. I just think we're better that way. So, all right, we got our hollandaise, and I don't want it to get too. I can probably. I don't want it to get too. You see, it's warm. Last time I did this. But keep it over here, hopefully it'll be all right. Okay, so now we're going to do the scallops. So the scallops consist of scallops, right? And what I'm going to try to do also today is I'm going to do these scallops, I'm going to pan sear them, I'm going to put them on a sheet pan and set them aside, and I'm going to cook them all the way. And then because I have to fry the shrimp toast, and I only have one skillet, I want to use that skillet to do that, and then be able to do it all together is the plan. Doesn't work out that way, you're all with me. Okay, so this is how I do the Venetian scallops or the seahorses. Give you some skewers. How many we got? 11. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's like, don't forget.
You better count me.
Don't forget.
Okay,
Well played.
which is really nice is that we have these are nice little sheets and these. Kind of careful.
Are you getting your stuff here from here, or you have to go to Lexington at all?
I have a food
You
purveyor.
got a
that-
guy?
I have a guy.
Okay.
I have several guys actually.
Okay, you do.
And there's a company called Creation Gardens, and you might see their trucks around. And I've used them for a long time. And I've known salesmen that went to them that I've used that were at other places. So, and they have specialty food. And then there's also one guy up in Cincinnati named John Prescott, who once a week sends a truck up, and he's just kind of his own little dude. And goes up there to the real cool markets and gets all kinds of really crazy things and really high quality canned tomatoes and olive oils and vinegars and stuff like that. So these scallops I just got yesterday, and to let you know about my restaurant, a little bit about the scallops. I've had the seahorses, like I said, for a really long time. But these scallops that I'm serving and have been serving for the last, I don't know, probably 8 months, maybe even a year. Time really slips away. That so I fold them. Once I lay it out, I fold it. These scallops are the best scallops that I've ever got to serve, which is pretty amazing considering I probably served 1 million of them. Buckets after buckets. The scallops that I'm getting now are by far the best scallops. You don't even need to cook them at all. You can just dip them, slice them thin. You can make carpaccio with them. They're absolutely fabulous. They are the best scallops I ever had. They have a signature of the guy that produces the scallop, the main CEO. I called him. Didn't think he'd answer. He didn't answer, but I left a message. Within 5 minutes, though, he called me back. He was in the airport. He was on the way somewhere. And he wanted to know what was going on. And I was just impressed that he called me, let alone tell him that he had the best scallops that I did. And he's never been to Kentucky. And he was interested that he thought it was pretty cool that someone was buying scallops in Kentucky. So these are by far the best scallops that you'll ever have. And I get people all the time, I don't really like scallops. I've been to Florida and had them. Really? I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10, the place right on the ocean is serving you frozen scallops. They're all about the money, and that's it. And if you do, there are some places, I should say all of them, but 9/10 of them are, the seafood is not up to par. Just because you're sitting next to the ocean doesn't mean it's going to be. Okay. So we're gonna make 12 of these.
I want to have another picture of that.
Yeah, sure. What's really neat about these is that they can be done up a little bit in advance. As far as you don't cook them all the way, like what I'm gonna do, and then we're gonna finish them in the oven. You can come over closer.
Well, I was doing portraits and I wanted me to back up. But now it's on.
Okay. Kitchen lingo. See all the trouble I go for you when you come to my restaurant?
And we appreciate it.
I do this every day. Seahorses are so out like crazy. You probably get them every time. don't you?
Here's the-
Almost.
Almost. We're
I know
a
you guys get them
fan
along.
of the lobster tails and
Chef, we have one that's gonna be plain.
Plain what? No,
She
no
doesn't
pork?
make- no.
I'll have her prosciutto.
She loves animals.
we love
No pork body?
No cow.
just We just scallops.
The seahorses aren't gone.
She ordered your seahorses at the restaurant without the prosciutto.
It's fine. It would take so long to get this off here, but it's all right.
Seahorses, the lobster team, there's several things that we know right off the most everyone. And of course, your tartar is
Yeah,
to die for.
steak tartare. Our last show we did shrimp remoulade, which was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're gonna try to do one, at least one a month, maybe 2 a month. I think the next one is 7.
No, the next one is February 21st.
That's right. She wanted to do it the 14th, and I was like, I'm gonna go visit that.
You said February 21st?
Yes.
Mhm.
2:00, Sunday, 2:00, February 21st.
Okay.
Great.
It's like what to do on a winter Sunday afternoon in a pandemic. We got it figured out.
That was exciting.
We've got 8 made. And then next, we're going to make the tapenade, which is I put on everything. I make it up and just put it in the refrigerator. And then I always make a little extra for my mother-in-law, Frankie, so she can have some.
When did she come back from,
The Seychelles.
yeah.
I don't think there's a really specific time.
she may never come back.
I went over. It's a pretty nice place.
Do they have COVID in the Seychelles?
They don't have anything in the Seychelles. They sprayed, when I went there, they sprayed me with disinfectant before I even got on the plane to go there. Your whole body. Because the island is exactly the way it was when, from the very beginning. It hasn't changed. They got, big sea turtles there that just roam.
It's kind of like the Galapagos.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it's exactly like that, except it does have people. And they just got the islands themselves. They own the islands now because it was British occupied, and they just gave it to them in like 1970 or something. Okay. 9, 10, 11. That's all I need to do for one, just in case. Okay. I got the right amount of skewers. You must have been telling me that.
Telepathic.
You were. Okay. Now we got the scallops done. You have extra plates. Can I grab one next one?
Yeah.
And you can see how I'm doing this right here. When they're done, you have a cocktail party. Bada boom, bada bing. They already got their built-in handle. Okay. Put that there, frying. And we'll start with sheet done. Okay. Water gets hot. This is hot, right?
At the time.
All right. Now done. Cheeto done. Stop. Need a bowl out of there. Okay, now if it was in the summertime and I was in Venice, where they have beautiful everything, I would use whole tomatoes, but these are the best tomatoes that you can get right now. And I get all my tomatoes at Kroger's because even my produce people will just grab anything and send it to me. And so I go there and I get to pick out my own stuff. I get all my own berries there. I used to get berries. Get them and they say, well, we'll just say to you when they're bad. I need them now. I didn't order them so you could send me some tomorrow. So I have to go there almost at least twice a week to go do that. And it's just for you guys. I just want you to know. Basil. If it's fresh basil, so I buy it, get a pound of it, chop it up, and I put it on oil. You can do the same thing at home. To store it, they'll store it there for months. Even if it gets a little mold right on top, take your spoon, put it out. Anything underneath here, no oxygen. All that basil is still good. I wouldn't go more than maybe 3 months, but still. It can go for a long time in your own refrigerator. It's a little different in mine because mine get opened up and the doors and all that stuff. Okay. So this is probably one of my favorite things ever. Like some people like salsa. I make a good salsa too, but I think my wife married me for my salsa. I do papaya and mango and sauteed corn, fresh cut corn, and cilantro, good tomatoes. Okay. So we're gonna start off with, for the tapenade, where'd that white ball go? For the tapenade, we're going to start with a little Kalamata olives. That's not on there. This is a last minute thing. Don't need much. Leave them whole. I'll give, so everything you can get, just about everything in one bite. You know what I'm saying? I would say a couple tablespoons of Kalamatas. How much tomato did I say? How much tomato did I say?
1 cup.
1 cup. Okay, so I just take a piece, put them in half. I'm gonna do a rough chop, throw them in the bowl. Tapenade, Mediterranean tapenade, can go on anything. I do a grilled romaine salad that I put this on. I take romaine, when you're out grilling your steaks on the grill, cut a romaine head in half. You have white wine, lemon juice, salt, pepper, a little olive oil. You take that half, dunk it down in there, and you throw it right on your grill. Steam comes up, salt, pepper, a little bit. Let it char just slightly, put it on a plate, top it with this. Gordon Ramsay said you should never grill with us. What is he? One thing about cooking, not everybody knows everything about it. Everybody's got, obviously busboys tell me stuff. They look at it differently. Everyone looks at food differently. That's why I try to make it as attractive as possible, because your eyes eat first when you sit down in front of you. If it doesn't look good, well, then you're already going, I don't know. He said I'd like scallops, but I don't. I like these scallops. I've never had to buy one. I always tell them, I said, I'm gonna send you a scallop. I mean, if you don't like it, I'll buy it. I've not bought one scallop. I did that same thing with my wife on lamb. That didn't work out. Thought I did get from earlier. Okay, we got our tomatoes in there, and you know, that this don't have to be exact. This is all, you know, just whatever you like to do. Okay, so we got the tomatoes, we got the Kalamata olives, we got a little bit of fresh basil. Going down underneath here, you see the colors a little better.
You just chop up your basil and you store that in, you said olive oil?
Mhm. Yep. As long as it covers the top, you're all right. But you'll still, if it gets a little old, it'll get a little, you know, a little fibers will stick up there and get a little something. Just stick that right off the top, get that down, the green stuff down below. Okay, then we're gonna do a little salt and pepper. A little lemon juice. Did I put lemon juice on there?
Yes.
Here's the lemon juice. All right. A little balsamic vinegar. Did I put that on there?
Yes, sir.
Now this I do differently, for different things. Now, if I'm doing it and I'm going to use it immediately, I'll put this in here. But if I'm going to do it like in like 3 or 4 hours, I don't put this in there until I'm going to be serving it, because it makes everything really dark, and that's just a visual thing. It ain't going to change the flavor. So that's your own thing. I'm just telling you that. Okay. We're going to be doing this pretty quick. Just a touch. This is not this olive oil. This is good olive oil. You can get this at Kroger's. This is good, but this is not what this is. This is something I get from Friction Gardens, and you can see by the color. Olive oil should be kind of citrusy. Should have a little citrus to it. Okay, so one last thing. A little green onion, right? Did I have that on there? Didn't I? I need help. I'm glad you all are here to help me out today. I just use the green parts of the onions. And then you can do, and I'll show you this. You can do like a kind of a nice little slanted cut to make them visually nicer. And then you can take this part of your onion. Stop. You got. And then take the white part, cut right down the middle, right down the middle again, like that. Open up in some water, and you have your little onion flour for garnish. If you've ever been in my restaurant, I use these like nobody. I put it on everything. I put it on French toast. Okay, so we got our tapenade is looking very good. We're just gonna let it stir it up a little bit. This is what's going on. This is what's going on the scallops. That looks delicious, and good for you. Delicious. You don't need to have anything to put this on. You can just start eating it on some burgers. All right, so we have the tapenade ready. Now we're going to saute scallops. And you don't have to saute these. You can spray them down real good and you can grill them. You have to soak those sticks, the skewers, in water first. You put them on the grill. You don't have to grill them the whole way. Just get nice grill flavor, the marks on there. Put them on a sheet pan, pop them in your oven, just like I'm gonna do. Finish them off. So all we're gonna do is just get a little sear on them. This fancy stove over here. One little thing that I know it comes up. Does not work today. Does this not work?
What?
The filter.
You gotta hold it for 1001, 1 second.
Four Mississippi, five Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
You're pushing the bottom one first? Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Pretty cool. We're not using that today. Just wanted to
Oh,
say-
are you pushing now?
You got, huh?
You're pushing a different button?
I think I pushed down first and then it just
Yeah.
had to reset. Okay. That's like James Bond though, isn't it? Okay. So, and I'm using a really good soy oil to do these. And then we're gonna finish it with just a little butter at the end.
What kind of oil is that?
A little soy.
Soy.
Soy oil.
Anything you want to do is don't put them in too early or play with it, because then you're just going to tear them all up. And you can help yourself out. I brought this just in case.
And one's about the prosciutto. Do they go in the same time? See mine on there.
Oh, you got to have yours done first, don't you?
I didn't do that.
You can't even have, you just shouldn't even be looking at this.
I just don't see mine, and I want to see it on there.
I'm going to do yours first. I forgot
I
about
think I should
that.
get an extra share.
What did I do with the scallops? I put them in here. All right. Do. All right.
What was that? Was it just
Salt, pepper.
salt, pepper?
Can I cook them on our pictures and all of the things?
Do you? I mean, you can cook it with that. I don't care.
Because they'll have a little juice from them. You have a little skillet, a little tiny
I
skillet.
do.
I can just set it right on there. Your own little finger. Okay, I'd love for y'all to see, can you see something? These are ready. And that's all I'm gonna do to them, because I'm going to pop them in the oven after I get the French toast done. So all you just wanna do, just a little thing, because you don't, what's worse than an overdone scallop? You play basketball with it. You know, and that's what you get in most restaurants too. They don't take the time to adjust, say the waitress is gonna not be there when they're up in the window. Take a minute for the thing, or the customer's out smoking. You have to allow time for the scallop to cook while it goes out.
Or is it the bar drinking this bourbon?
Or it's been drunk with the chef in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a little more oil in here. This is what's on the bar. Much my thing.
Okay.
$1,000 stove cost. Breaking it in. It's doing a lot better. Flip it a little. In a hurry. Slow down, Chef. Got some over here. There we go. Now these can sit for a little bit. One more to do. And then we'll start on the shrimp toast, which are probably one of the best things to ever have to go to a cocktail party or available to watch a football game or whatever, anything like that, because they hold up really well, like for a couple of hours after they're completely done. And they're even good room temperature. Crunchy.
You hear both sides, right?
Yes. It's in a big hurry, you don't have to though. Got one that's this hurry, I'll go about that.
Is shrimp toast typically considered Asian dish?
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just bring me back to memory. Yeah, you really, if you ever get a chance to go to someplace like Venice, get an apartment. Because that way you can really, you can go to that market and do some of your own cooking. I mean, believe me, all the restaurants are gonna be fabulous too. Very expensive, but, and the hotels are too. So if you're gonna do it, to really experience, go to the seafood market, go to the vegetable market, go to the deli, pick up your stuff, take it back there. I had to cook with, I mean, they didn't have hardly anything. It's one of those rental apartment things that had like a little bitty knife to cut everything up and fry everything up. But we had fun, you know. Yeah, that. Voila.
kind of our Christmas, but we made it this weekend last year, but the favorite dish of yours every time you come.
There's lots of those.
It's gonna be super upset.
I have a takeoff of the dish, this dish as well, that I do with port wine reduction and, I wrap it in duck bacon.
Oh, yes,
Wow.
we had that.
I call it Maltese.
Yes, we had that. It's wonderful.
It's really a good one.
It's really
I
wonderful.
was gonna bring you 12 of those too, but I didn't know. Okay, so. That's how I get rid of grease at my house too.
It's the best way. That's what I do.
You did it too.
We do that too.
It's, yeah,
That way, unless it's bacon grease, then I say.
when you say it, yeah. It's the best way.
Put it there. Quick. That'll keep the holidays warm. Make a little warm bath. You just check it every now and then, make sure it's there. Shrimps. So you're gonna take about a pound of shrimp. These shrimp are 1620s. When you look on your shrimp package, they'll say 1620, 2530, blah, 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 whatever number. That's per pound, which how many you're gonna get approximately per pound. So,
Chef, the scallops are basically the same way, aren't they?
yes, then they're called like U10s. That means there's 10 of them. There's U8s, which are like awesome. And they even have U6s, or look like a mini filet mignon. But they're like,
What did you use?
30 bucks a piece.
What did you use for the Venetian scallops?
These here are U10s.
Okay.
I take the tails off. So I'm gonna put about 20 shrimp, which would be about a pound. These shrimp are all natural, no chemicals involved in raising them. They're all, and I didn't realize that there would be really another thing I didn't, you learn all the time. And then we didn't have this stuff when I was growing up. The texture and the flavor is just a night and day from what you get. So they're called chem-free, chemical-free shrimp. They cost a little more, but just a little more, and the flavor, and it's a real shrimp. You'll notice when the texture. You probably won't with the shrimp toast, but if you get shrimp at my place, you'll know that there's a big difference. So we're going to put a pound of shrimp in here. That's what we do. That's about 20 in there. All right. Okay. A little water chestnut. I like to use fresh water chestnut, but I don't even know where to get them. I don't think I've ever even seen them. So we're going to be using these. This is what I've used for the last 30 years. Chop these up. I know they're going in a food processor anyway, but I just think it works out a little better to have them chopped up already a little bit. All right, we got our water chestnuts. This is one of my new favorite products that they also have at Kroger's. Is these little tubes of fresh ginger and fresh garlic. Every time I buy a jar for my house, by the time I get to it, once I opened it for that one dish 8 months ago, it's always yellow, bad yellow. And it's like, it's no good because the sunlight and oxygen gets to it. So they have figured out how to put these in a tube and they last forever and are fresh. We all know what it's like to get ginger, call for a ginger in a dish, and get one of those stupid little roots and then try to peel it and then chop it up to get it real fine. Even for a tablespoon, you're like, it's a 15-minute project. Here you go, right here. Ready to go. They also have jalapeno that way. Paste, jalapeno paste, fresh, not like that lot green stuff that you get in the can. Fresh jalapenos, and it's just, oh my God. And they have a cilantro, which isn't all that great. I don't know. Cilantro and oil don't really blend very good. Doesn't happen. And then they have an Italian. But this is the two. I buy like 6 of these at a time, and I'll go through them. I even keep them at the restaurant for like, if I'm in a real big hurry for a special customer wants something like on the fly, like say tartare or something. That's why I always tell people, you do want something, I don't mind doing it. But sometimes I just can't do it. It's just me back there in that restaurant. Me and another very old person. And that's all we got. Okay, so old people run the world right now, I'm not gonna tell you that. Okay, so we have our ginger, what did I say? How much did I say?
Teaspoon.
Teaspoon. So I'm just going to, it's kind of an eyeball. Yeah. Look at that garlic, nice and white. All right, then cilantro. We're gonna go chop up that a little bit. Just go crazy with cilantro, they put it in everything. I try not to, but I'm addicted to it. I make at my house, fresh jalapeno, cilantro, diced purple onion, fresh, put it in a deli container like this, and it'll last for a week in your refrigerator. So when you have your tacos, you want to put on your hamburger, or you just want something to add it to, cilantro, jalapeno, and onion works. Sure, I got everything. I don't think I told you all about cornstarch on this either, did I? On the paste, okay. So what I have here is also a little toasted sesame oil, and that's just gonna be just like the Tabasco. This is very strong stuff. Very strong. So you don't want a whole lot. Fish sauce. This stinks, but it adds so much flavor to it. You gotta get past that, and you don't use a ton of this either. Voila. Okay, did I get everything? Oh, egg white. Did I have cayenne pepper on there too?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
and sugar.
Yeah. Just the egg white. And this will make about, we'll make about 20 of these toasts, this thing, so. And I only usually I'm giving you guys a couple pieces of toast, but usually when I do it, as a moose fish, like it's just a free appetizer I do, I'll just give it a little corner. So if you had it for a cocktail party, you just give them a corner, so you can get 40 of them. All right, so we have, the only thing that I don't have in here is the cayenne. You got any cayenne pepper?
Yeah, I do.
So I may forget something. I get up in the morning and I come in and try to get all this stuff together and haul it all the way over here.
No.
Look on that, Lazy Susie again, and I'll be in there.
Let's do your cayenne.
Man, I definitely have it, I just used it.
What did you put it in there?
Looking. Really green.
Well,
Peach and
it's the only thing that I'm missing is the cayenne pepper. I put a little bit of cornstarch in here too. And that's just to help it, bind up a little bit. Just a little, so we got the egg white to help it. And, a bit of cornstarch. So that's everything, right? Okay. So you don't want to go crazy with your food processor.
What about the anchovy paste?
That's what I forgot. I knew there was something.
There's a little
What? Cayenne? Good deal. And then I need sugar, white sugar.
that may be upstairs in the kitchen.
Okay. I like to use the, here we go again with the little tubes, and Ambrose's a gourmet brand that's really good. And that way it stays fresh for longer. You can have it in your refrigerator for when you need it, your Caesar salad. We got the cayenne. Now that's up to you. You can make these things really spicy if you want. That's too spicy. Or you can make them this mellow yellow. Actually, when I usually use cayenne pepper, and I still do every now and then, to, well, this familiar. To open up dishes, not to put it into spice. Just the pepper would make everything else taste bigger and bolder. You wouldn't say, well, there's cayenne pepper in there. You would just say, well, this is really flavorful. And that's the cayenne pepper opening up your taste buds to make everything else taste good. So we're just gonna put a little bit of sugar just to make it sweet. All right, now we got everything. Did I get everything in there now?
Shrimp, chestnuts, garlic, ginger, anchovy, cilantro, green onion, fish sauce, cayenne, sugar, sesame oil, cornstarch, 1 egg.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna pulse this. Take it off. There's always the big chunks on the side, because that's what big chunks do. That's what the big chunks. And we're making our paste. Okay. We made our paste. We got through it. Yay. We got the seahorses done, or the Venetian scallops.
Yes.
La, la, la. Now, to put these together. Countertops, just awesome. Just push it aside, plenty of room. All right. I don't need this either. All right. Better view that way. All right, so now we're going to do, and I like, and I don't think you can find any of this. I looked everywhere I had to go, get one of the purveyors to do this. Texas toast. I used to eat Texas toast all the time. This recipe will work with white bread, the regular thin white bread, but it's better if you can get a thicker cut of bread. I looked all over for Texas toast. So they got me. So my bread girl came to me. So we need 11. 12. So we got.
You better make one for Elizabeth too.
No.
No.
Should be all right. Okay. Now, what I do with these is I go ahead and put my all right, so we have our bread, put it out. Put our shrimp. Okay, so I take just a little bit of the thing. You don't want to get too thick because then you're going to have a hard time cooking it. Just put a little bit on there. And then I'm going to cut the edges off after this. You don't look crazy. Just a little thin layer. Get it all on there. One more time.
do we get an intermission?
Yeah, we can take an intermission. If you guys want to get up and smoke a cigarette and go walk around for a minute.
Well, I wanted to say that Elizabeth, Chef's wife, is an artist, and a lot of her artwork is upstairs around that you'll see on the wall. It's available for sale, of course, and the art gallery. I don't have prices on anything there, but it's approximately, everything's about $25, 50 or less, you know, with exception to the work on the walls. But it's all the art here is by Scott County residents, artists in town. So trying to support our local artists.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Whole place is gorgeous.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, oh, yeah. And Polly is also a local artist as well. She's a milliner and she does hats. So we'll be showing hats hopefully in the future. Upstairs, we do Airbnb and VRBO, Bravo. So keep us in mind if you have out of town guests coming in. So that has been, I wasn't sure that I was going to be doing all of this. I bought commercial property, so I now wanted a yoga studio and I wanted an art gallery for certain. And then I thought, well, this place is going to tell me what it wants to be. And I wanted to be a bed and breakfast, you know, before I even completed building it. This apparently everyone's like, that's a bed and breakfast. And so I decided to go ahead and give it a try. And it's actually been a lot
You
of
said a walk pan.
very positive thing to do. I've really enjoyed having this.
Definitely don't want no water in there grease.
Yeah, I did that one time. I still have scars to show it. It was not a smart move. Yeah, y'all can can they go now or should we wait?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to see me
And you go all the
try
way up to the tower.
every single one of them.
Yeah.
By the time y'all get back, I'll have one left that I can show you how I go. I'm gonna cut the edges off this,
So I think
so you just take it right on the edge, you know. Everybody knows how to cut edges off posts. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow. And I was living hopefully over
Yes,
at,
this is Springfield.
this is good,
And that's what I come
yeah.
This is
Thank
One
you.
side.
So I just, I
That's gonna have
know
some
I.
shrimp. Yeah, you do. But you don't need to put the shrimp side down first.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we practiced back on the 21st.
Yes. Oh, good. Yeah. It's
What are you doing in the back?
really fun.
We did lobster thermidor, we did,
I like that. It is. I was able with the snow coming.
we did the holidays, we did some Miami law.
And it just stopped, you're like, oh.
Now,
That's what we did.
Rodney, if you need a sous chef, you can always go to work.
Sure. I don't know how Marla's gonna feel about that. Marla's running my kitchen. I gotta check everything first.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell her that another old person in the kitchen. Wow.
Oh, she knows that. I tell her all the time. I forgot that, so it ain't gonna get any better.
She's not 50 yet.
Yeah.
That's over.
You see?
Look at all of your videos.
So 10 minutes. Yeah.
Say the flowers she sent in the park.
You're good. So Rodney, who is this right here?
I don't know, this is some friend, I guess.
Watching from elsewhere?
We wanna try to start doing it so we can get people to get a bigger crowd.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Of course, you get charged in, what I charge. Not gonna charge her. But,
Yeah, it's good marketing.
yeah, it's good for the restaurant, good for her business.
Yeah.
That's why we did it.
We met her, we met her bar years ago.
And,
Yeah, she's lived in New York for 35 years.
And we can take her home, right? That's what I.
And then got a call. She's on her third, fourth.
And something about a dog.
Just got a-
And something about a dog. I remember something about a dog.
Yeah, we're with Elizabeth is watching.
Okay.
We have 4 dogs. She's got a Labradoodle that's, or a golden doodle that's like. It's really nice. It's one of our dogs, we don't
I
mind.
think after 75 pounds, it's no longer.
It's like a-
It's no longer considered a
We
doodle.
have a
That's a big one.
100-pound dog, a 40-pound dog, and a 15-pound dog. Those are the houses, actually. Everything about it.
You can have all this done up like the day before. Wrap that up. If you got a Friday, it would work better. Not as dangerous as what I'm about ready to do.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
You got Friday, I did this would be it. You can make them into little sticks. And drop them in there.
No, I mean, it's gonna sound like a simple question. What about like an air fryer? No. Straight up fried egg.
Yeah, you gotta have a fried egg. I don't think this, I don't, you know what, I really don't know. I don't think I've ever fried.
Here's the one device I wish I could kitchen, but man, that'd be a pain in the ass to clean,
Well,
is a deep fryer.
those little fried eggs were fine.
So what is, did we determine what that is over there? The
What?
little thing in the
Wall.
counter?
Oh, it's a wok.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
All right. Not ready.
There's a guy that makes those down. So the soy oil,
Peanut oil is better.
I was gonna say, where would you put that on the spectrum of like peanut and vegetable?
Peanuts probably be the best one to fry with. But it's quite expensive. I just use canola at the restaurant, and this I use for salad dressings and stuff like that. That's a sword.
Yeah, peanut oil is outrageous.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like $50 for what I use, like 5-gallon thing.
I found that at Thanksgiving for around 35 is what I, you know.
You fried a turkey, you needed 5 gallons.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got a 35?
And I've got what, yeah,
That was shit, that's pretty cheap.
and I got it,
Or cheap, that's
I've got one of those butterball cookers instead of the gas.
Oh, yeah, how is it?
It's awesome. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to clean, I ain't gonna lie. That's the only drawback about it. To me, it's so much better to cook in. You set that temperature, and you just go back and check it every now and then and make sure nothing's happened to your electric or something.
Yeah.
It's flawless.
I've been, every year I'm like, it looks like it's pretty good. It looks good.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And I got the big one, you know, because it is kind of hard to find a turkey, you know, 12 pounds and under.
Yeah.
So.
You don't want to cook a turkey, the best place to go, and they only do 100 of them, maybe 125 of them, the City Barbecue in Lexington.
Oh, yeah.
They smoke a whole turkey
I smoked
I'm
one this
talking
year.
about juicy, you know, the white meat.
It was very good.
Everything.
I did it at the beginning of November just to give it a test run. Oh, but I still nothing like a deep fried turkey.
No.
Short of smoking and the deep frying.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So these butterball works.
It's great.
Okay,
It is great.
I'll let you.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
voila.
And I can show you.
Then I'll put them in a little
I
container.
give them about 3 minutes on each side.
I'm gonna put him over here by the tree.
Okay, so I know I'm gonna buy another thing, so.
Those Valentine earrings are $10, just so you know. I think they're adorable. Like, if I had a tea party, I would just. I would fit it a little earring. But now I can find it.
So it's like Venice,
So
so
perfect.
when you were there.
What part of Venice?
And right in the,
Yeah. Well, like near.
like 10 blocks from
We went to the
Real.
farmer's market when
Okay.
I first saw them.
I stay on.
Yeah, there was a few, yeah.
Near the, train station, just right across.
No, we took the
That's what I
train
found.
from
The
Rome.
guy that makes
Yeah, it is.
pens is at the farmer's market.
It's pretty
So this
cool.
one-
It was the most beautiful city.
If I was rich, I would retire,
Oh, me too, in a heartbeat.
but I'll probably end up retiring. Which is still pretty nice.
But I could not believe just all the food places, the groceries.
So I did a little quicker than 3 minutes. Y'all can see it's probably about 2 minutes. You know, when they get like
Look
that.
at that. That's so.
You need another chiller.
You guys wanna look at this? You guys wanna come around?
Another, sweet one.
Want to come up and see this? Come up and see it? Come on up around.
Cool. We need to see, we need to check it out.
I just flipped these.
Is that also in what? In cooking?
Yeah.
Soy?
Yeah.
Such a cool. I need to make a.
Voila.
Oh, wow, please.
Voila. Okay, so if you were coming in my restaurant and I was doing this for a moose fish, I would probably do this at 3 o'clock. You're probably not gonna eat these till 7. We'll take those right there, I'll pop them in the oven, send it out.
Yeah, she's probably got it more.
So the first one says, this isn't fresh,
It's
Rod.
magical.
No, you don't know.
Not necessarily, my other friends seem to be doing okay, but I'm.
I think this was done at 3 o'clock. No, they hold up well. They hold up well.
Yeah.
And I'm also gonna do something that's not in the recipe book. This, I'm gonna put a little, this sauce that I've recently found. And I sell it at Kroger's too. I've seen it, and I've always wanted to use it. I never did, but I did with this dish.
Yeah.
A
What are you looking for?
little jar of fresh garlic stuff. I want to get away from this. Voila, voila.
Right, so I missed, we cut off the crust.
Down,
Okay.
I don't have the jar. I don't know where the jar went.
Well, it can't go too far. This is, everybody look for John.
The little tiny garlic.
Didn't need to be refrigerated.
No, 'cause I pulled it all out.
Garlic? So what you looking
It
for?
says crunchy garlic on it. That's a little-
Oh, that crunchy, it was over here last time we talked about it. It was over here.
I got it in the bowl. I took it out of the bowl.
Oh,
I just wanted to show you guys a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this but it's in the Japanese section. You'll see it. It says, it's about this big of a little jar.
Hmm.
And it says crunchy garlic on it. So it has a little sesame and a little, well, of course, garlic, chili oil.
I know, I want to see.
You think he threw it away by accident?
I think that,
Okay, it will show itself. I'm pretty sure I didn't touch it.
Well, I can show you all a picture of it. You don't, another thing, you don't want to get in a hurry because then the stuff will fall off. It's gotta get, and shrimp, like lobster, when it cooks, it tightens up. So that's what it adheres to the,
You always want to do the shrimp side first.
yes. Always. Go. There we go. And you don't want to get too many in here, like anything you serve, but in frying, you don't want to overload it because then it won't fry and all the stuff will fall off. It's probably through it away. It's all right.
But
It's a little tiny garlic. I can look it up on and show you a picture of it.
what did you do?
You can Google it. It's called crunchy garlic. They even sell it on Amazon.
Okay,
They do sell it at Kroger as well.
they do.
Uh-huh.
Then you throw it on top of this.
I took it out of the jar. This is the best appetizer. Or at least it's one of them.
Now, you haven't had this at your place, is that correct, Rodney?
I did it as a moose wish. I did it Saturday night as a moose wish.
Okay.
For a special tin cup, but this is the crunchy garlic. It's really cool. I could probably make it, but like I said, it's just me and Marla here, so I gotta find stuff that's pretty much already there. All of our seafood is fresh. Nothing's frozen there. Shrimp is always frozen because it's shellfish, except for the scallops. Oysters, I do fresh oysters. Turned out way better than I thought. Okay. And then all of our steaks are all prime beef. And prime beef, there's only 3% of the beef in the whole world, not just Scott County or Kentucky or the United States, or 3% is only prime. 3 to 4% is only prime. So it's really hard to get. There's only a few prime steakhouses. That'd be Malone's, Jeff Ruby's, Tony's. But unlike them, you don't have a 20-year-old kid cooking your steak. You got me cooking your steak. On an old-fashioned grill, they use those ovens that they push it in. It'll cook a medium rare steak in about 3 minutes. I don't think that does the steak justice. I think that you need the old, like you grill it at home. The steak drips down, smoke comes up. And I think that's what makes my steaks better than those places, even though those are really good. And I've eaten there and I like them. But I think my ribeye is the best. Okay, so now we're gonna put this together. So we have our seahorses. We're gonna pop them in. Voila.
How hot is your oven?
That's at 425 convection, so it's blowing air. These I would put in there, but I don't think I need to. Always check your thing, you don't burn yourself. Okay. Now I'm gonna clear all this off. I'm gonna make your plates and bring them. I'm going to serve.
So this oven's at 425, just to heat them back up.
And they'll be able to catch, if I recorded it properly on
Oh, yeah, watch.
Bleubird YouTube, Bleubird Studio Georgetown on YouTube. So I've got his other two shows, a video. There's this, and then I've got this, well, I've got, this little, Never mind. It was about.
So this is, isn't bad. It's very dry. Where, what, this?
Okay. A pinagrisha. I'll put that in thank you. They have a lot of like closeout prices right now.
Yeah.
Like $15 off, $20 off.
No.
I mean, like a $25 bottle of wine for $9.
January 1st, you can now get wine shipped to you.
So I kind of restocked last time.
That's how we came into the 19th century.
I bet you have to be in Europe, Kentucky can have wine.
I don't know.
I've been trying to
Yeah, when we went to, you're usually
I got a boot there. I
NASCAR.
have to send it to a friend of mine. January 1st.
Oh, wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, because I was go, taste, thinking that, tasting from that.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Well, they still have to sign up, like those wineries have to sign
Oh,
up.
they do.
Yeah, but like, you can go to firstleaf.com, wine club.
So
Yeah.
well, it's a birthplace of bourbon, not wine.
It used to be the number one wine.
It was.
That's right.
Exactly.
For prohibition.
Yeah, it was.
It's
one of the top ones.
recently.
It's been one of the top ones there.
Yeah, and then same thing with the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Oak Creek, Elk Creek.
Oh, we got in there. I've been there a while though.
We went there not too long ago. I think with everything that's going on, they're really on the struggle bus right now. So let's hope that things can come back around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the wineries, they've got some new ones too.
No, but I wanted to go.
It's a nice, it's way out, way out in the country.
Yeah.
It's beautiful location. Their taste is and Anderson County.
And there's been some distilleries that we've been
Nelson
to.
County.
I love Four Roses.
That's nice.
Beautiful. It was like Italy. Yeah, it was like being in a Italy place. Oh, girl. Yeah, I
I may have been to Gators.
don't remember what. I don't know what.
There's one way out.
Oh, that was,
I wonder what Derby's gonna do this year. It's
so frustrating.
Technically, February the first is when Kingland tickets go on sale. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
We got a refund last year.
We're losing for your stuff. And
I know, there's been tickets to that as well. That's like. 70%. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
All right, so let us know, we'll come, okay? Because we usually have people come to town, you know, that every year, Keeneland, Reader's Cup, we have friends, they were engaged at Reader's
Last
Cup
time.
A lot of people.
5 years ago. And so they came to this, we still party, but, you know, they still came, so it's gonna be their 5-year engagement. And we have Rodney.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you earlier. So if you had tartar experiences before, it was not
He was like, Rodney's.
Yeah.
He's
The
like,
idea by hand. A lot of
Yeah,
people
you
put it in
buy-
a food processor and make like pate out of
yeah, I mean, but he was like.
It's like ham.
Oh, it's.
But you changed.
Alright,
I'm
I'm charged for.
You changed mine.
Alright, as well, it's Yes.
It's,
Right. So I've driven by that and so I go above the tree. I don't know. Okay, all right. Is there change? Actually, no. Okay.
Father by
You must have looked.
yeah, you must.
Take care.
Okay.
Oh, Ramada. Yeah, Ramada. That's us.
Okay. Funny story.
You been to jail?
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Cheers.
And then, we were gonna start this, but, so, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
The chamber showed up. Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a Robin. I want to call it a Robin, but it's a Robin. A lot of
Actually, we're very.
Everybody wants to stay.
We are taking care of people with facilities as well, which has been quite difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
Why do you think people go to work?
I know.
They are.
Yeah. Florida to come.
Turn that
Oh, that would be lovely.
That's much easier. It's, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I could try, but I wouldn't go. Right.
And then we met this one when she first arrived, and we, you know, forever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, really nice.
Oh,
We couldn't
yeah.
cut the ribbons.
I remember
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I like that.
That's scissors.
I remember that.
I know, right? Next time, we're gonna have Rodney.
Yeah. We would want a ribbon cutting. Yeah.
She's like, I remember you people. I had such a good time there. We'll come by anytime you want.
Which is really the.
We do.
I don't want to be one well.
Well, and we just have to also keep it on the DL, because people
I know.
freak out. But it's like, at the same time, it's not.
We just started
It's
getting
not
the shot
like-
on too.
It is the collective, so we have to have some respect. Yeah.
Carry on.
Really. We're getting vaccine. So he had his shot. I'm waiting to see if his arm falls off, and I'll get. See, he's not gonna let his arm fall.
And I would love a third arm at this moment in my life. Do more things.
No. Rodney, it looks beautiful. They
That's
like
the
it.
first.
They love you. I get some pictures. Send it to all our peeps. Beautiful.
And this is ready on the top. Closest to you, okay? These are ready up there.
Okay. You gotta find us, you gotta find us crunchy garlic. You see, it's
Yeah, it's on Kroger's website. So.
I already put it in my basket.
And Rodney is a frontline worker. Yes, he is.
Yes.
I'll be waiting on my shot, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Gorgeous, the ones in the top.
All right, let's grab, just grab it in.
I was gonna.
Wait a minute, one last thing.
What?
This is right there.
No.
Oh, yes.
Start that time.
I'll start with the ladies.
I'll do it.
Oh, these are beautiful. Are all of these ready then?
Yeah.
I think
they all are.
Those two need
Please, right there.
lemons.
Oh,
Too cute.
Did they have a lemon left? It's missing, one's missing a lemon.
Okay. Okay. Oh, in the box, in the white box.
And the other one is missing.
Take this over. All right. How many more do I need to make? Two more?
One, two.
Yeah, for you. You're gonna
And that one missed the hollandaise.
Yeah.
And I'll need everything correct. That's fine.
We'll be the clean up room. Bon appetit.
Your little dolls, you have?
Labradoodle, and she's Elizabeth's babysitting.
And how big is your Labradoodle?
Well, last time I heard she was 78.8.
That's an
Doors open.
right?
Well, different pounds, but
Because when you moved here, how big was the dog when you moved here?
well, she was a puppy. When I first met her, I had one.
She flew to go get this dog. In Washington, and
Because
then
I
flew
remember
it back.
telling you
DC or state?
State.
And then my other flag, none of that has certain time.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, but then, Elizabeth, I showed her a picture of sand. And,
I know.
and the dog is in Portland, Oregon. And she's like,
Oh, we do it down there.
she's got to the airport.
Was a shark.
There you go.
So excited. Are you not?
I will
chat. You'll probably.
I do. There we go.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Rodney.
Is that it?
I think that's it. Are you done? Thank you, Rodney. Good.
Is everybody good with water and drinks and everything?
Oh, very good.
MOSC.
So, Rodney, the other night, we were watching, I'm sure you probably do you watch cooking shows every morning?
A little bit, if I get to. I don't watch much TV. Voila, I'm sorry about you. I don't hear your supply. This category. He would have let me know 20 minutes ago. Are we doing good? Are we glad we came?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we learn something?
Yes.
Good.
Awesome.
That's the main thing.
Very, very, very good. I like it.
These are a little crunchy, but.
I'm
I don't know
good.
about.
I've always wanted to.
Russian, I can use it roast to you.
I love it though.
Yeah.
It's really easy. It's just I don't do it. I like quiet.
I'm settled.
Yeah.
What?
You almost specify. Yeah, I like that. We do. And I love I end up with so much basil at the end of this.
I know, me too.
I'm like, what do I do with this stuff?
I love that.
So putting in the olive oil, I love that.
You can also make pesto out of it and freeze the whole.
But then that, honestly. I like this the olive oil.
Yeah, all the oil works.
And I kind of like, yeah, I want to do that. So I like just having basil. Terrible. Oh, God.
Oh.
I was gonna say, what were you gonna do with those? Cause I was
Yeah,
wondering
why?
what was happening. And what are those?
Cherry pepper.
Cherry pepper. Oh. Very, very good. But I haven't had anything at Rodney's ever that wasn't.
How we doing? Excellent.
Okay. So Rodney,
Yes, ma'am.
your lobster appetizer.
Yeah.
And that. I have tried to recreate that myself many times.
The sauce.
What am I missing?
I don't know what you're putting in.
I'm getting a lot of, I mean, when I eat it, I'm using saffron and
Yeah.
peppers.
Yes. Saffron, no peppers,
No peppers, okay.
just carrot, cognac.
Oh. Wow, got one more of the cognac.
What do you have, if you watch the lobster thermidor,
No, I haven't.
you watch that, that sauce is in it. Didn't I do the lobster thermidor? So it's
Okay,
good.
That's on YouTube.
all right, I'll.
That's the same thing, that's the same sauce. that I make.
I mean, your lobster tail app to me is.
There are a lot of them.
What?
I sell a lot of them.
Oh, you do, all right. Absolutely. And your chicken livers are the best I've ever had in my whole life.
Well, that's because of the flesh. Everybody that makes a chicken liver is last part.
Yeah, they are really good.
That's why I have them. Get 'em.
All right, so I have lots of thermidor seasoning.
Yeah.
Is that all? Okay. And then, yes, your chicken livers are your line. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm doing good.
Never been.
The apartments are the way to go.
Oh, nice, yeah. I mean, last time we went to California,
Yeah, we did.
which was free all of this,
Yeah.
we got an apartment. It was great. We didn't have that thing.
Yeah, you're right, that's a huge.
Oh, yeah.
We did an Airbnb of a furniture store.
Oh, it was, San right on the beach. But we were there for business. And we needed to.
We were there for a week, so.
I'm not gonna lie, but I We were there for a week. Yeah, maybe you're gonna go see some on the beach where you have to, sleep. You know, and. Oh, it's probably good.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we did a lot.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, we can settle down where you have. So no, now we're gonna go somewhere and be there for a long time. I would love to do it. Yeah, it is nice. It makes sense. It's gotta find the right one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found a couple great ones. We went to, San Antonio, and I thought it fabulous. Regional district, where it's like, almost like a house. That was really nice.
Multiple.
Rodney. That was. Like, wow. Your typical stuff. Absolutely.
I love the holidays.
Yeah.
Boy.
And I was on that post. Oh, what did you do? Yeah, we did go to Baptist restaurant, it was all out of Georgetown. There's like Rodney's, those beef. That's what that was. What are one of our favorites?
Yeah.
We did,
Your stomach.
You're like, oh.
I used to bring
It was very good. I loved it.
well, I wouldn't, I mean, this is
What was it?
black and white says.
Oh, but I guess mine is part of the thing now.
Oh, you.
I would-
Right there for all the. Japanese stuff,
So I bought some burrito. I haven't bought that before. I gotta buy some stuff. But,
I lost a little bit
well, it's just very.
because it was so,
It's
like we
so-
actually did
Yeah.
the map. I was gonna, it's very.
Well,
I thought it would be like. Like.
Yeah, we found a fabulous restaurant that was really good, high-end, delicious food. We went walking through like Whitney, very early. And then, we did have, a tartar, which was, didn't even stand up to business.
Which is our friend was.
So then when they came to town, we ordered Rodney started, it was like, holy mackerel, that's a tartar. So I was like, that's what tartar is supposed to be. Rodney's tartar.
San Antonio.
Yeah, it's safe, right? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. We wanted to go there, but the line was.
The line was not- But we did go to the needle thing.
We
Oh, the needle thing, yeah.
had dinner up there. Had half an hour in there.
And,
Because of $8.
Yeah.
That was good, but the heat was really good.
Yeah. Different places that you go. Delicious. So I have to go and go shopping. I have to go.
We can go up there.